Hello and welcome to a brand new After Effects tutorial. I'm Tony King, and in this tutorial we'll be answering a request that I received the Q&A video I did yesterday for a passenger's title. So let's go ahead and check out the clip. Alright, there you have it. Now, one third-party plugin you will need for this is Video Copilot's optical flares. So I'll leave a link to that in the description. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started here. So first thing we have to do is get our text. I'm going to leave a link for this as well. You'll need the Passaggero font, which is passengers basically font here, and I'll leave a link to that in the description. So okay, let's get started right away, and all you have to do is type passengers in all caps so that there are no lines under A, and the E has no lines on the far left side. Alright, so you want to start it about 3 or 4 frames in the start, since it has sort of a flashy beginning. And what I did here was this doesn't have an animation for the E, so you have to go ahead and do that. So in the first okay, just focus on this first one. I'll get back to the second one. So on your layer, make 2 masks, one for each of the middle line in the E, and keyframe the mask path. Also keyframe the mask feather. You want to start it at 2 just so that it sort of just, you know, almost has a fade coming in, as you can see here. And then go about almost 2 seconds in and bring it not all the way out, because that's not how it looks like in the actual title. So just like that, and bring down the mask feather to 0. Yeah, so just basically just animating in the E right there. Next, what I did was, this is going to come into play later, but I duplicated that layer, brought it under it, and added a mask. It's a bit squiggly here, but it could just be an elliptical mask around from S, E, and G. And then I added 177 feathering and 53 expansion, not 153, just 53 feathering, and no keyframes on there, and I'll show you why we need that shortly. Okay, let's go back to our main comp, and what we want to do now is we want to add the flare. So go to the beginning of your solid, which is going to be about 4 frames in, just so that we have our big flash here. And this could actually be a bit brighter at the start as well. Maybe not that. Just 250 actually works for me. So add the optical flares effect and go into options. And I went to the preset browser and I found a I think I used the Senker 16, and I took out everything except for 2 glows and a shimmer from the settings right there, and that's all you need. So as you can already probably tell, we are keyframing the brightness, but also we are positioning the actual, you know, flare to where a line would be under the A. So in the middle of the A, actually, sorry. You know, you've all written A's before, probably. Alright, so once you've set it there, both points, the center and position, although it doesn't really matter for the center position, but whatever, just for safety, you know, whatever you add. Then hit U and go forwards about 10 frames and bring the brightness down to 20 so that you can still see the flare. It's just sort of hidden and weak behind the A, although it is going to be on top of the A, and I will tell you why in a second. Also, I had all the other layers are in 3D, so we will have to scale this flare up so that it does move along with the 3D, and I'll get back to that soon. I have an extra layer here that I don't need, so I'll go ahead and delete that. Okay, next what we want to add, now that we have our text Here it should just come out like this for you guys, and the flare as well. What you want to do is you want to make these the text layer in a 3D layer, and also add a null layer and make it 3D. Then you want to go before the transition, so you make sure that sorry, there's a school bus outside. I don't know if you can hear that. You shouldn't be able to, but keyframe the position from just a frame before the actual letters come in, just so you make sure that's already moving, and go to the very end and bring it towards the camera just a little bit, just by negative 197 is what I did. It's not drastic, but you know, it works. And there you have the actual move towards the camera. That's how I always do that. So let's go back to the scaling up of this black solid and go to the beginning and have it at 100, and then go to the very end and just scale it up until it's pretty much where it would be if it was moving in 3D. So as you can see, as I go through it, it does look pretty good. Next, I wanted to animate in the edges of the letters here, and here's why we have two versions of this of passengers. That's to add solidity to the middle of the letters, because we're going to add a light, and it's going to be a spotlight. And let's go through my settings here. Not many people are fans of using lights in After Effects, but I find them useful. So let's go to the beginning of our animation here, and we want to put the point of interest just as regular, where it regularly is, intensity to 100, cone angle 90, all the regulars. Next, what you want to do is you want to go to the very end and bring the point of interest forwards on the z-axis, very forwards. As you can see, if I'm zooming out all the way and I still can't see the entirety of the light, and that's also because the cone angle will go out to 180 and intensity to 307, just so that you can see all of the letters solidly. Because see, if you decrease the intensity, so will the letters, and if you decrease the cone angle as well. So that's how that works. I've done other tutorials using cone angle as, you know, the main animation for text. So if you want to go check those out, check out the tutorial playlist I have of all my tutorials. But without keeping this very long, that is actually it for this effect. I think it looks pretty good, all things considered, in comparison to the actual effect. Maybe my letters are a bit thicker than theirs, but I think other than that, it's pretty spot on. If you have any questions for this title, go ahead and comment down below, or if you want to stay anonymous, you can email me at tonykingvids@gmail.com. That is in the description as well. But without further ado, I'm going to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.